White letters on a black background say Thriving with Vision Loss with special guest Jeff Skoglund. This interview was recorded on a video call shown in single view with each speaker filling the frame as they talk. Michelle has shoulder-length light brown hair with a purple headband and purple collared shirt. She is seated in an office with a wood-paneled shutter background behind her. Jeff has gray hair and a full gray beard and is wearing a rust and cream plaid button-up shirt. He is seated in a room with green potted plants and a lamp behind him. What happens when vision loss doesn't arrive all at once, but slowly reshapes how you work, move, and engage with the world around you? Today I'm by Jeff Skoglund, creator of the Blind Outdoorsman YouTube channel. Jeff lives in Minnesota, near Minneapolis. He spends much of his time in International Falls. The outdoors has always been a big part of who he is. Over the years, he's navigated all kinds of challenges, from personal setbacks and hard times to finding new ways to focus on health, wellness, independence, love, and adventure. This is Thriving with Vision Loss, an eleVIVO original series sharing real stories, practical tools, and lived wisdom from people building meaningful and thriving lives with blindness or low vision. eleVIVO supports individuals and families navigating vision loss and works to help agencies, nonprofits, and public systems to do that work more effectively at scale. Jeff, it's so great to have you here. To start off with, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what your day-to-day life looks like?
Well, I live in Mound, Minnesota with my wife, Shauna, and my guide dog, Natty.
I love dogs. It makes me happy.
She's pretty awesome. I create content, Blind Outdoorsman, on YouTube, and actually TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, all of them. And I'm trying to, I guess, close the gap a little bit between the sighted world and the unsighted world, and try to inspire some people along the way.
You've got one up on me because I suck at Instagram and TikTok. I
I've
really
only
do. I can never make it do what I want it to do, ever.
I've only been doing it since I really only started in around Halloween time.
Hmm.
And it's been a learning curve, that's for sure.
What's your favorite platform?
For engagement, surprisingly, TikTok. I feel like I get the most comments and the most back and forth on that at this point, anyway.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, there seems to be a lot of people on there that do stuff. It's just I'm one of those people who I'm really, really particular, I guess you'd call it. There's other words, but we won't talk about those.
Yeah,
And I can't get it to the point where I can actually get the stuff up because I'm not happy with it.
I just throw it up there and let it stick. If it sticks, if it doesn't, people just ignore it.
Kind of like throwing mud at a wall, I guess.
Yeah,
Well, that works. Maybe I'll try that.
yeah. They're all a
So,
little bit different.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they seem to, it's kind of important probably just to get to different people.
right. I think there's a different audience for all the platforms.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Right now I'm looking into podcasting, and that's a whole different world, and I'm still
Right. I
trying to
bet it
figure that
is.
part out too. So anyway, so you've shared that your vision changed gradually over time. When did you notice your changes?
Yeah. Well, I've got something that's called retinitis pigmentosa,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of a big umbrella of things. And looking back, I feel like I've had it my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So very gradual, and it's so gradual that you don't really even know that it's happening.
So what was it like when you started noticing changes? How did it affect the way that you lived your day-to-day life?
Well, I didn't really notice the biggest change that I had that started it all out was, I think, in 2005. I got tired of wearing my glasses and I wanted to go in for that LASIK surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor ended up telling me that the risks outweigh the benefits, that he could do the surgery, but it probably wouldn't really do much for me, and that I should talk to a retina specialist. So he referred me to somebody, and eventually I got diagnosed with the RP.
Oh my, yeah. I've met a few people with RP, and they kind of say that it just kind of creeps in and you don't even realize that you're going blind.
Right. And in fact, they said I had it and it would be, like a gradual thing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I feel like I can do, I was reading, I was driving, I was working, I was doing all the normal things that I normally did. And it wasn't until like 2010 where I finally went into another exam and uh, was, I don't know, I joke around and say certified blind.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
you got
I'm
your
legally
card.
blind.
So now you're card carrying blind.
Right, exactly.
So at some point, your life threw you some really serious curveballs. Looking back, what was the hardest part about that? And what did you learn about you along the way?
Ooh, curveballs. Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of a timeline here. In 2010, I was legally blind, and that's also the time my employer let me go. And so I lost my job, and you're kind of swimming around with that, and you really don't really know where you're going to go or what
Mhm.
you're going to do. Everything's kind of turned upside down. And then some time passed, and I think it was well, I know it was 2013, my mom passed away.
I'm sorry.
And then in 2000, well, actually, 2013, my mom passed away. And 2 months later, my dad passed away.
Oh my.
So I had a double whammy, of course.
Yeah, I know
And
when my dad died, I'm still dealing with it, and that was in 2023, and I'm still a mess about it.
right, it takes a lot of time to get over that. And I guess my way to deal with that was obviously some depression. I couldn't see, my vision was gone. My mom and dad are gone. Life sucks.
Hmm.
What do I do? But it didn't feel like that at the time because it just, to me, it kind of snuck up on me.
Hmm.
I was seeing a therapist. I was doing all the depression things that people do, and self-medicating with alcohol on top of all that. And it just kind of crept up on me. And then one day, my wife at the time says, "I'm gone. I'm out of here."
Oh no.
So all that stuff just kind of hit. Those were the curveballs.
Hmm.
And obviously, I was at my low at that time. I really thought I didn't have any purpose in life, and thought I should just not be around. And
I think a lot of people who are losing their vision could really relate to that. I mean, I've heard that just talking to, my low vision friends and stuff, that it's so powerful and just so difficult.
right, it's not something I like to talk about, but I think it's important to talk about. Um, One morning I woke up and I said, I got to do this for my kids. I got to be there.
Mhm.
And
So, what was your first step once you made the decision that, okay, this has got to change?
yeah, I decided to. It's weird how things in life sometimes just happen. You just see something on Facebook or something. It's just
Mhm.
almost meant to be.
Mhm.
How do we explain that? I don't know, but I trying to think of the right order for this. But I feel like well, all along the time, this whole time I was talking to my therapist, and she obviously helped a lot.
Mhm.
And I discovered an online meditation group. And after that, I discovered a health coaching program, a year-long health coaching program. And as you're doing these little programs and helping, I guess, wake up,
Mhm.
uh, hit the reset button, whatever you want to call it, you
Kind of
learn
rebooting
little
the
things.
computer.
Yeah, you learn little things, and then each thing kind of leads you to another thing. So the meditation group led me to uh, their coaching group. They have a program that teach you how to be a life coach.
Hmm.
And I also decided I wanted to go back to school to finish the degree that I never finished. So I wanted to get my bachelor's degree.
Hmm.
I,
What's your bachelor's in?
um, what is it called? The independent study one?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, general studies or something like that.
So the BA of independent studies or general
Yeah.
studies. So that way you can kind of design what you want
Hmm.
you
You can
you
actually
want
study what
program
interests
ready.
you as opposed to the stuff they force you to study.
Right. And when I signed up for school, uh, State Services for the Blind helped me
Hmm.
through this. And originally, I was going to be a drug and alcohol counselor,
Hmm.
but I didn't want to work under somebody. So, with
Yeah.
all this coaching stuff and the health coaching and going to school, I also discovered a metaphysical school.
Hmm.
So, through that, I learned the tarot. I learned, I'm certified a Reiki teacher and master.
Hmm.
I'm actually a ordained minister through them.
Hmm. You've done
Uh,
a lot.
yeah, I mean, it's a great program. It's it's filling my toolbox up with a lot of different things. Um, Basically, how to be more self-complete. That makes sense.
Actually makes perfect sense. I mean, I think a lot of times, especially in the US, a lot of us live with kind of a hole. Pieces, we did the work, we get the school, we get the family, and there's not time, money, or energy for anything else. And I think a lot of us don't live our lives quite
Right.
as we could. Does that make sense?
It does. Yes.
Yeah. I had an experience last week. I actually got to walk with the monks from Houston that had walked to DC and they came to visit Annapolis. And it was one of the most eye-opening, life-changing experiences of my life. Just the peace that was emanating off of them changed the way I look at the world. It was one of those moments that you talked about with the whole almost awakening you and moving
Right.
you forward.
Right. Can you imagine the world if everybody's way of thinking changed?
I think that would be a better place. I think it would be a better place for all of us, wouldn't it? But I guess we
Yeah,
have to do our own little bit, don't we?
that's true. I can only do what I can do here.
Yep. But it's enough. And if you do your little bit there and I do my little bit here and somebody else does their little bit in Florida and somebody does their little bit in Maine, then we'll get there.
Right.
So in the Blind Outdoorsman channel, you share so much of your life. It was so cool to watch. You cover gardening and home projects and cooking and accessibility and Natty, who I am absolutely obsessed with. Um, so why is it important to you to show all of that? Not just the educational side, but the fun and everyday things too.
Well, I'm going to step back just a little bit
Hmm.
because um, sharing as openly as I do isn't easy.
Hmm.
And I was trying to do all this coaching stuff, and I thought I wanted to be a life coach, but then COVID happened,
Hmm.
and just didn't feel quite right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't. It just didn't feel right. So I kind of just coasted along, and probably for a couple of years, friends and family would say, you know what, you need to share this stuff with people that like this is pretty cool, or like I can't believe you're doing that, or whatever. It just doesn't seem like a big deal to me, but I kind of I kind of blew it off until it just got to be more and more people telling me to do that. So I'm like, whatever. I just gotta stop being afraid of it and just do it. So I created Blind Outdoorsman.
I love your solstice video. That was really cool.
Yeah, I just try to be. I just feel like I'm average Joe Blind out there, and I'm having a hard time putting it to words.
That's okay. Take all the time you need.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share my life. I'm trying to inspire both sighted people and blind and low vision people that life doesn't end the adventure. Blindness doesn't end the adventure. The trail might just look a little bit different. We just figure out different ways to do it. I'm just the
And
average. I'm the average homeowner that still needs to keep up with the basic housework.
yeah, the thing you were doing in your yard with replacing the sump liner, whatever it was, like I can't do that. I'm sighted. Mm-mm.
Well,
I'd
I
have
always,
fallen in that hole. I mean, watching
I,
you walk across your yard and not fall in that hole, I'm sighted and I would have fallen.
that day was hard.
Guaranteed.
Sometimes it's hard outside for me, but it's, I always know there's people I can call to get me out of trouble if I screw something up bad enough.
Hmm.
What you didn't see on that video was me trying to cut um, a pipe near my house where it was coming out, and
Hmm.
I got too close to our gas line, and I nicked a hole in the gas line.
Well, small details.
I panicked just a little bit. Luckily, I knew where the handle was to shut it off. I just had to grab my wife real quick, and she pointed it out to make sure I was doing it right. But we shut it off, and I had somebody come in and fix the line. But
Hey, BG&E did that to me 2 years ago.
yeah,
They're supposedly the professionals. So, you weren't alone. So let's move on to Natty. Gotta
okay,
talk about Natty. I'm
sure.
a dog person. Like I said, I'm obsessed with Natty. I watched every single video that you have with Natty. She's such a big part of your life. How does having a guide dog changed your life?
So everybody loves Natty. I've had Natty for close to 5 years now,
Hmm.
and she's my partner. She gives me confidence to go out. When I mess up, I can always blame it on her, and she doesn't care. You know, she keeps me company. She like if I feel like I need a minute, you just scratch her ears. She's
Hmm.
always at my feet. You just reach down and I think a lot of people feel like that with their dogs.
Hmm. Fur makes the world go round.
It does.
Definitely, definitely. So you've got a ton of interests. You've got plants and aquariums and cooking, and you make kombucha?
Kombucha. I don't know if you can see it in the background. Is
Yeah,
there?
I can.
So
So,
that's a used whiskey barrel.
so
that
how
I
do you
got
make
from
kombucha?
So I got that whiskey barrel from a local distillery here. They gave me they just gave it to me. I repurposed it. Um, how do I make kombucha? Is just fermented tea.
Hmm.
So it's just black tea. I use 50% black tea and 50% green tea. With sweet tea, you sweeten it up, and then um, there's a pellicle in there. It's people call it the SCOBY, but that's the whole works with symbiotic community of bacteria and yeast, SCOBY.
Okay,
So all that
cool.
stuff works together, and it makes like a sweetish kind of a little bit sweet and a little bit tangy.
That
And then
sounds perfect.
I'll draw it off that barrel. I can probably take out 2 or 3 gallons a week.
Wow.
The way I have it set up, it's a continuous brew, and then I put it in 64-ounce growlers, and I've been experimenting with um, different kind of simple syrups. The last one I did was nectarine and blackberry flavor.
Ooh, yum.
So
That
it's
sounds
it's
really
fun
good.
experimenting. It's endless combinations of things you can try, and making it at home, you can determine how sweet or how tart you want it,
Hmm.
and you know what
I've
flavor you
had
want.
kombucha before, but I've had one really good one. And then I've had one that it's like, oh, I don't think I like that very much.
Some are epic failures, but it's all
Eh,
part of the fun, like experimenting with different things,
mhm.
and
In that
that's
part of life.
that's the whole thing. Like with the plants, I love my house plants. I love gardening outside. I love landscaping. We rent a garden plot from our local community, garden plot,
Hmm.
20 by 20 plot. So we
Oh,
try to grow
cool.
things, a
What
lot
do you
of
grow?
tomatoes and peppers and onions, and uh, we had some volunteers, lots of dill last year, just left over from the people before us that
Hmm.
just started growing again.
Yeah, dill is feral, kind of like me.
Yeah. Daryl.
I may have to fly you in because I, some
It's
people have green thumbs. Mine is black and necrotic. I do really well with fur, but when it's green, I tend to kill it. The only plant I have is Robert, I have Robert Plant, and he survived college living on daiquiris and beer. He's immortal.
Yeah, I mean, our garden was a disaster last year because it was our first one there and it wasn't really well thought out. And once
Hmm.
things started growing around, I couldn't find my way from one end to the other. But um, we'll see what happens this year. I'll be documenting it so everybody can watch. And
I will
then
follow right along.
like we take our stuff and my wife helps me with the canning, mostly
Hmm.
just filling the jars up for me and I do the rest. But
Oh, cool.
so
I love tomatoes. There's nothing quite like tomatoes taken from the actual ground.
right, you know where it came from. You grew it yourself, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't grow it myself because I can't grow anything. It doesn't grow well at all. But my dad used to do tomatoes, and he used to give me tomatoes, and they were so good. They really were. So, it seems like you're really curious about a lot of different things, and you really enjoy learning them.
I do. I feel like it's lifelong learning, you know. It never really stops. You
Hmm.
get into one program and you learn something and it inspires you a lot of times to try something different.
Hmm.
It's kind of like reading books, you know.
What's your favorite book,
Oh, I don't know that I really, it's
or
kind of
one
like,
of,
what's that?
or one of?
Um, One of my favorite authors is William Kent Kruger. He's a Minnesota author and he
I've
does a
never
lot of
read.
writing about the boundary waters.
Oh, wow.
So he's a pretty awesome guy. But I'm completely all over the board
Hmm. Me too.
on reading.
I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I will read anything that is in front of me for, 45 seconds. I'm on it.
It took me a long time to convert from reading a paper book because there's nothing better to me than grabbing a book and feeling the pages
The
and
smell of the books.
the smell, you know,
Hmm.
all that kind of stuff
Oh,
to go into the audiobooks.
yeah. I like audiobooks too because then I can do something while I'm listening to them
Right.
because I'm usually behind.
I've got the smart speakers in almost every room in my house and I
Hmm.
can say play it everywhere. So
Hmm.
I can do work in all the rooms if I want and just play my
Oh,
book all
that's
day
great.
and do my thing all day.
Well, that's great. I got to go when I was young. I got to go to Trinity College and got to see their library. And I sat there for probably 45 minutes just smelling the old books. Is it's such a unique smell that isn't anywhere else.
Right. We even went to Barnes and Nobles a, a few months ago, and I'm like, oh
Hmm.
my gosh, it smells so good in here.
Hmm.
Seems
I
like such a
agree.
weird thing to say, but
No, it's not. I agree entirely, and I'm excited. I'm with you. I just like to be in the presence of books.
right,
And I have a small library downstairs and a bigger library upstairs, and I can never, I just, when I'm done reading them, I can start over again. But so when we talked before, you said that you did a polar bear plunge. I guess you guys call it bear polar plunges.
it's
What
the
in the world possessed you?
well, I just think that since I'm blind, it's one way for me to give back to the community.
Hmm.
Minnesota Special Olympics,
Hmm.
they do polar plunges all around the state,
Hmm.
um, and it's really not that bad. It happens so quick. I've got some videos up on my YouTube channel. It's a whole playlist of leading up to it and the actual video of me doing it. And it's kind of funny. You'll see me wiping out. And I'm still sore from that.
I feel you. I feel you. Most definitely. So, you mentioned using AI to kind of help you stay organized. How has technology helped you to stay organized and change the way that you navigate your vision loss?
Right. I mean, most of us, I've heard about the, voiceover and the screen readers and, I use all that with my phone and um, I've even got like a CCTV where I can like
Mhm.
enlarge stuff up like 20x or something like that and change the color scheme so it's easy for me to see. Mostly white text on black background,
Hmm.
reverse contrast, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
I've got some handheld um, electron, like one, it's called the Ruby XL, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, but it's just a handheld thing. But um, even in the beginning, I had like binoculars or monoculars. I remember when the kids were younger, doing their little league games. I'd watch their games with binoculars
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only way I could see. Now, none of that stuff helps very much anymore. Um, with my content, one of the things I discovered was AI,
Mm-hmm.
um, teaching me how to do it, sending
Mm-hmm.
screenshots and asking me how to, like, where's this button? What's this button? How do I do this and how do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've never seen an owner's manual for any of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I use AI for the same thing. If I
right.
can't figure something out, I either Google it or I ask AI, how do I do this? And
Or
sometimes
just
it works and sometimes not so much.
sometimes it's a challenge, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, just basic grammar or whatever, trying to like put your thoughts into a proper paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
It's still your words, but AI helps you to organize it,
Mm-hmm.
make
Yeah,
it a
I
better
agree.
flow.
I agree. I actually use it for my YouTube descriptions because I just, it does not compute the way my brain works. So usually I'll write one and then say, YouTube optimize, and I throw it in there and it fixes
Right,
it for me. And add links, make pastable, because otherwise I mess it all up and it looks ridiculous.
right. And
So,
it's helping make some spreadsheets. I'm still trying to figure that out.
mhm. Yeah, I would imagine spreadsheets are a little bit hard.
They are a little bit hard.
Well, they're hard for me too, so you're not alone, but I also do data for eleVIVO, and I've created a database of over 1 million resources for people that are blind or low vision in all 50 states and the territories. And the biggest challenge to doing that, there are two big challenges. One is there are lots of great, organizations out there that do say they do lots of great things, but good luck contacting them or finding contact information for them. And the other one is making the darn database work.
Sure.
Those are my two biggest challenges in life. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's the great thing. I think that's half the challenge, especially if you know, you're at most like for what I have the RP. I don't think most eye doctors are like prepared to talk to you about that because they don't really know what it is.
no,
And
no. And the
what you tell,
ophthalmologists usually just say there's nothing more we can do, and then they just kind of toss you aside.
right? Yeah, you're legally blind now. Now what?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah,
That's not, I mean, optometrists specializing in low vision are your best friend.
right. And state services for the blind, that's
Hmm.
pretty good. I think they're
Hmm.
getting a little tougher now. I don't know what it looks like today, but there was funding available when I was there. I
Hmm.
think that's running out pretty quick now in
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
think
places.
funding's being tight. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's another one of the things that we do with eleVIVO is, we're hoping that some of those state services will use us because we can cut down their time for their social workers in half. And
right,
we can also make it so that the people who are low vision, their clients, can use our programs so that they don't have to rely so much on the social workers and can become more independent.
right. My second blind school that I went to was called Vision Loss Resources,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still a little bit active with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, every month they have a peer mentor program,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been part of that. I haven't actually had a client with them, like actually doing mentoring with them, but um, I'm trained to do that. They had to do a lot of restructuring and cutting back and
Yeah.
like figuring themselves out again. But um,
Yeah. But we'll come out the other side.
yeah, exactly.
We will, because people are amazing. Now, that kind of comes into, I've heard you say more than once that, people with vision loss are normal people who just do things differently. What's one thing that you wish more people understood about people who are blind or have low vision?
We're people.
Hmm.
We're,
That
we're we're
works for
just
me. You are.
just stepped on Natty.
Oh, poor Natty.
Um, yeah, I mean, vision loss, being blind. We just, especially for me, because I feel like I can't imagine like waking up and being blind because that's a whole different thing altogether. I think in
Hmm.
my mind,
It
it,
is.
it all feels normal to me. I, I
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm any different than you are.
Hmm.
Like I've learned how to do this. It's happened slow enough that I can, like my body just knows how to do it.
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain it.
No, I understand. So I've talked to people, both people who've gone blind suddenly and people who have had it over time, have gone blind over time. And the thing they have all in common is they're all really cool people. I mean, I've gotten to meet
Right.
so many cool people doing this.
And talking to me, you're not going to catch what I have.
No, you're not contagious.
Yeah.
Definitely not contagious. So I'm not worried about that either.
Right.
That's something that I find really weird in the sighted community. I think a lot of people in the sighted community, which I'm a part of, worry about offending or saying the wrong thing, but it's like we're all people. If you say the wrong things, say you're sorry and
Right.
learn. It's no
So
biggie.
that's I think the work that I'm trying to do now. I think that's my new purpose in life
Hmm.
is trying to like tell people that blind and low vision people are just normal people, for one thing. Like I said earlier, like bridging that gap between the sighted and the non-sighted,
Hmm.
showing the sighted people that, hey, I can do that too.
Hmm.
And even showing there's plenty of people with the low vision and blind people that have no idea what to do with their life now. And they feel like they can't do anything.
Hmm.
So if that's you out there, like you can do it. We just got to figure out what tools, build your toolbox up. And if I can try to provide some of those tools or point you in the right direction, I think I've done my job, even if it's for one person.
I think you're very right.
Or,
And if it's one, then it might be two.
and if it doesn't have anything to do with sighted or non-sighted, I don't know. I try to be funny. I try to make people laugh. Dad jokes aren't funny most of the time.
I don't know about that.
But
I
if
think
I
they're
can
pretty
make
damn
you
funny.
smile, or if I can make you say, hey, I never thought of it that way before, that's making a difference.
It does. It truly does. Now, I have to ask you my favorite question. What makes your heart sing? What do you do because you love it and you're doing it for you? Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, it's because you
Well,
love it.
to be honest, what I'm doing now, like waking up in the morning trying to figure out what kind of content I want to put out there.
Hmm.
It's stressful and you know challenging, but I feel like I'm making a little tiny difference out there, and most of all I feel like I've got purpose. You know,
Well, you
um,
do a great job. You really do. I love your content.
I
I
try
think
not to
I've
be
watched all
anybody.
of it now.
I, I try not to be anybody but me, and I think that's what people like to see.
Yes, I
Nobody
agree.
likes the clickbait anymore, and um,
I'm with you. It drives me nuts.
I'm just trying to slow things down and be real, and uh, that's me.
Well, if it means anything coming from me, you're really succeeding.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It really is. I find your content really powerful. I truly enjoy it.
I feel like it's going super slow, but I guess good things
That's just
are
how it
made
is.
slow and one brick at a time, right?
Well, that's how things are built, one brick at a time. And you know what? Like you said, if it helps one person, then it's going to help two people, and then it's going to help 10 people, and then 100, and then 1 million.
Yeah, I think
It,
that ripple effect is real.
it is. You are probably one of the most real people I've ever spoken to, and I truly appreciate you.
I got one
So,
thing I can share with you.
yeah, go ahead.
Guess what I'm doing on Sunday?
What are you doing?
Blind hockey.
You're playing blind hockey?
I'm gonna go
Really?
check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. That is
I've
awesome.
been I've been talking to Josh just a little bit here on, because he did that other interview with you,
Yeah, Josh Schneider is a hoot. He is so funny.
and then I got in contact with one of my local people here, and I'm gonna go try it out.
Oh, you need to let me know how that does
I'll
because
definitely do that.
I find it so exciting. I mean, it is so much fun. And Josh is just a doll. I absolutely love him. He is really, really fun. He really is. And it's just, I flipped out when I found out there was blind hockey because I'm a hockey kid.
Yeah,
I mean, I played as a young person.
I
And
asked. I said are there other old people out there doing this? And he says, yeah, there's a couple people in their 60s. And there was a guy that was 86 that was out here a few weeks ago. And he said, it's just too much for his body to handle, but it was awesome.
Hey, didn't Gordy play until he was in his 70s?
I think so.
He played in the NHL until he was in his 70s. You got it. You're not that old yet. So, another question for you. Um, so people working in healthcare and blind services and policy, if they're watching this, what do you wish that they understood about supporting adults who are losing their vision? Because they're really good at kids, but it seems like as they get to the adult thing, maybe not so much.
Yeah, that's a little tougher for me. I guess, like building things up, with this in mind right from the get-go instead of like trying to retrofit everything.
Mm-hmm. That
Um,
makes sense.
yeah, that's a it's a tough question because I thought about it a little bit, but maybe I misunderstood
That's okay.
like the question to begin with. Um, I think I had in mind a couple examples of technology. One was several years ago. I, when I moved in my apartment after my divorce, I wanted some wheels, so I bought myself a fat tire bike. Figure
Mm-hmm.
the fat tires, because I can't see so good.
Yeah.
I had a lot more vision back then, but I still couldn't drive or do any of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I used my bike. I rode my bike to get groceries and that sort of thing. And I had this app. I don't remember the name of the app, but it was frustrating me. So I emailed the developer. I'm like, this isn't working. How hard is
Mm-hmm.
it to change something like this? And he's like, you're blind. Why would you want to be riding your bike? I said, well, first of all, there's, 50 shades of
Mm-hmm.
blindness, and we're
Yeah.
all different out there. I can still see enough to ride my bike. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
have no business doing it, but I'm out here and I'm using your app to help me navigate.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, there's somebody who drove like an Indy car blind.
that's
And
crazy.
there's another guy that rides a motorcycle supposedly blind. I'm trying to get an interview with that one because that just boggles
Yeah,
my
that'd be good.
imagination.
So, so I told him what I didn't like of it, and he says, you know what? He said, I never even thought about that stuff before. He says it's just a simple fact of we need to name that button so your screen reader can read it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, thank you. So then he ended up putting me as a beta tester.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, I just decided it was time for me to not ride my bike anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But um, designing things from the beginning, I'm through the AI of the Blind Club. I ran into somebody, a research student, that's doing a project on video editing, and I think this person is building it with blind and low vision people right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. That's a
And
great idea.
and
There's
and
so many
so
blind creators out there.
so next week I'm going to be meeting with this person to test out her prototype
Oh, cool.
and give some
Please
feedback
let me
on
know
it.
how that does.
So
That's really
I've
cool.
only dealt a little bit with like the Apple product for the video editing,
Mhm.
and sort of just gave up on it because it's just too much for me to learn out. Because I'm learning all this stuff at the same time, it just gets overwhelming.
Yeah,
And so maybe this product will be a good product.
I think it'll be great because I
So building
mean,
it from the beginning. Um,
there's so many things are just retrofitted for the blind. You're right, and
yeah,
that's not useful. Yeah, I have we have a blind tech tester named Scotty Joffrey who has the Blind Striker YouTube channel,
right,
and I help him edit sometimes. Because that way, because sometimes it gives him fits. Just trying to get the videos edited.
right,
And he helps me because, we want to make sure that the eleVIVO program is completely accessible for those who have completely lost their vision.
right,
So he helps me in that way, and I help him. And if we all work together, everything gets better.
right. I wish there'd be an easier way to submit reports to all the other platforms out there. Like most
Hmm.
of the stuff isn't hard to change.
No, No, it took our programmers, I think, 5 minutes to fix the things that Sky said, this is not accessible. Fix this, please.
Right.
Like, okay, let's fix. And, it took them 5 minutes to do it, but we would have never known it was a problem unless Scotty pointed it out and said, fix.
Right.
And that's very valuable feedback for those of us who are sighted, because we don't even think about it sometimes,
Right. Exactly.
so anyway, so if someone was watching us right now and they're newly blind and they're feeling absolutely overwhelmed and just depressed and miserable, what would you want them to hear?
You're not alone. That's one thing. You're definitely not alone.
Mhm.
The stuff that I post has mostly been, and I mentioned this in one of my posts not too long ago, most of it's been sunshine and rainbows. And it seems like on social media, that's what most people post. You see the best of all their lives.
Mhm.
And that really doesn't mean that you're doing terrible, you're doing a bad job, and that honestly you suck.
Mhm.
I posted that I was having a really hard day. I got all emotional on it, and I said, "You guys aren't alone, because really, life isn't. It's okay to feel that way. It's only temporary. Build your toolbox up
Mhm.
um, through find the programs out there and get the tools that you need. Um, I've done all kinds of things out there, and I mentioned a bunch of them already to build that toolbox up. And
Mhm.
I feel like without that toolbox, I'd be in a complete different place. I'd still feel overwhelmed. I'd still feel like I don't have any purpose. I'd feel like I wouldn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. I feel that.
I think everybody has those days. I mean, whether you're sighted, not sighted, green, purple, blue, doesn't really matter. Just, I think we all have those days when it's like, I suck. And why am I doing this?
Right,
And I truly appreciate, you talking to me and being so real about it, and talking about, not only the good, but the difficult, because that's so hard for people to be vulnerable.
right.
And I think in our society, I think we'd probably be a lot better off if we were, and a
Yep.
lot healthier.
Here is footage filmed at a Minnesota Twins baseball game. Jeff walks through the stadium concourse with his guide dog Natty. He has gray hair and a gray beard and is wearing a blue short-sleeved baseball jersey with red diagonal stripes across each shoulder, along with a white bag strap crossing his body from left to right. He is then seated in the stands watching the game, wearing the same jersey and a pair of headphones to listen to the play-by-play, among other spectators with the ballpark visible around him.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your perspectives and everything. So
Thank
where
you.
can people go to follow your work and learn more about the Blind Outdoorsman?
It's Blind Outdoorsman everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all one word, Blind Outdoorsman.
Everywhere. Who knows? Maybe we'll get you on TV too.
I don't know about that. Maybe if that's what's meant to be, that's what's meant to be.
Yep, there is that. There is that. But we all rise together.
Definitely.
So thanks to everybody for watching this episode of Thriving with Vision Loss. If this conversation resonated with you as much as it did me, please like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what stood out. And please go ahead and go over to the Blind Outdoorsman YouTube channel, because it is fantastic. And you gotta meet Natty. She's the cutest little doggy ever. And you'll find links in the description to explore eleVIVO, the links to Jeff's channel. And remember, vision loss does not mean loss of purpose, adventure, or possibilities. Until next time, keep on thriving.
Thanks for tuning into our series, Thriving with Vision Loss. If you would like to learn more about thriving with blindness or low vision, check out eleVIVO.com. If you have questions or would like to be featured in an upcoming episode of our Thriving with Vision Loss series, email Michelle B at eleVIVO.com. Links are in the description. The white letters on the black background fade as Circles by Classless Act plays.